Yo, what's up, guys? Today I'm going to be ranking the BTD6 Heroes from S tier, which is like really good, always use them, good for most maps, and A, which is like good, really solid hero. Um, B is for like they're good, but they're not better than everyone else. They're like above the middle a little bit. And then C is like in the middle, a little less useful, and D is like you you can use them in certain situations, but most of the times you don't want to. And then F is like never use them. I'm gonna be doing this off of chimps, off the ratings, if they're good in chimps, types of maps, how um how versatile they are, stuff like. Alright, guys, so starting off with Azelia. Azelia is really good for late game, but she is really bad for early game. She's like, you want to get her at around round 10, but you need a solid start. So I'm going to have to put her at C tier because you can't really use her on a lot of maps, and you really got to have a good start. And if it's a hard map, you can't really get a good start. Alright, the second one is Geraldo. I would put him in S tier, but since you can't make money from his Quincy action figure in chimps, and since you can't make money from that, I'd have to put him in A tier just because his abilities and stuff you can buy is so overpowered, even for the early game, because you can buy road spikes. But the money making from Geraldo in other game modes where you can make money is just so good that it would be an S tier, but it's an A tier for the sole reason that you can't make any money. Alright, Admiral Breckle. This one's weird because she's really good in the early game and throughout the mid game, but she kind of falls off in the late game because her main ability is her mob mine, and most of the time it doesn't help if you don't have really good ceramic popping power because she's gonna pop down all the mobs, but you need to kill all the script ones. And she's only used in some of the maps because they're mainly water maps. So for that, I'm gonna put her in B tier. Alright, Sada. Sada is really good in most maps, but her limited range limits her a lot to most of the intermediate or behind maps. So for that, I'm going to put her in A tier, just because she's so good in every other map except for where she has no reach. Alright, Gwendolyn. She's gotten a recent buff. She's really good, but I still don't think she outclasses the other heroes in because her real popping power is all in balloons, and your balloon popping power is really easy to get. You usually only need like one or two recursive clusters, or one of your fifth tiers will take care of it. So for that, I'll put her in B tier. Alright, Captain Churchill. This is one of the worst chimps. This is one of the worst chimps heroes beside Ben because you can't make any money. The only real reason you use Captain Churchill is if you're going for a strategy where you can save up a lot. And you can't really do that on some of the harder maps, so your levels will be even more behind, other than the fact that he gains XP really bad. So for that, I'm going to have to put him in D tier. He's viable in some strategies, not all. Alright, Pat Fussy. Pat Fussy is just like Sada. He accelerates when he's intermediate and below. And even some advanced maps where there's a lot of track length, it loops, and he's right by the track. So, but he does have better things than Sada because he buffs other people with his roar, but he just doesn't have as much power as Sada does. But he does knock balloons back, so I'm gonna give him a B in mobs. Alright, Adora. Adora used to be really good. I still love Adora. The first strategy I've ever used was Ninja Adora Alchemist. It was so good. It carried you through the early game and the mid game. You could get to like round 76 if you maximize like Bloon Jitsu, 402 Alchemist, Adora, and a village. So, but she has fallen off because I believe she got nerfed since I've used her. but she's still a really good hero. You just need to make that money investment. I'm gonna have to put her in C tier because she's not that versatile because of the purple popping power deficiency. Alright, Striker Jones. Striker Jones buffs mortars and bomb towers. Mortars and bomb towers are only really useful on certain maps, and you really only use Striker Jones in those strategies. And he's not really that good on his own. The only real thing he does is buff the other towers a lot. So for that, I'm gonna have to put him in C tier. Alright, the next one, Etienne. Now, I really like Etienne, but he is not a good starting hero. He's really good because he gives your towers full camo detection no matter where they are. He also, once he reaches level 20, he has the infinite UCAV, which is really good for balloon popping power and balloon cleanup. And his UCAV is pretty good, but he's only really good in some maps, but he levels up really fast. So I'm going to have to put him in B tier. Alright, Quincy. Quincy, he's mid. He's really good at being a base popper. He can get camos, he can hit leads, he can get you through round 7 or round 6 to like round 20 something. But that's all he really does. He's not that good. He's more of a base, like, kind of regular hero you'd ever think of. So for that, I'll put him in C tier. He's good in some situations, but most of the times he's just kind of a support tower. Alright, Obin Greenfoot. He is really good when you pair him with the Druid of Wrath and Populist Army. They are so good. They can carry you from mid game to late game. Even if you just have like one support tower with a Populist Army and Alchemist, they will carry you through most of the game. And his trees ability is really good for eating up all the balloons. And once you get him to level 20, if you do, he will eat up a bunch of Moabs. The only downside to him is it'll delay your money, and his brambles are really good too, but they are abilities, so you do have to manage them. So for that, I'll put him in A tier. Alright, Benjamin, for chimps reasons, the only real thing he does is his Trojan hack, and that just loses you money. And then his the internet hack thing, it's an okay boost, but the downtime you have is not worth it. So I'm gonna have to put him in D tier since he can't make money in chimps. Alright, Sai. Sai is really good if you know how to use him. And most people go for Sai, or most pro players go for Sai. But Sai is really hard to use once you first get him. But if you learn how to use him correctly, he accelerates in late game because he will stop. If you get him to level 20, he will stop ZONGs, BFBs, and Moabs, and DDTs, and just obliterate them. And even in the early game, once you hit round 40, you'll have, I think, level 5, and he'll insta-kill 2 of the ceramics, which only leaves you with the Moab and 2 ceramics to pop, which by that time you should have Moab power and a little bit of balloon power. So for that, I'm going to have to put him in S tier. He has infinite map range, so he's viable on any map. He does really good single target damage, except for the BAD. That is the only thing he lacks is BAD damage. And the things you run with Sai already do a bunch of mob damage, so you don't really need that mob damage or that BAD damage from him. And there we go. That is the 4 tier list. S tier, Sai for his infinite range and versatility. A would be Obin Greenfoot for his super broken strategy right now of Druid spam. Geraldo for his many buffs and things you can buy from him, like the genie, the fire, the pepper. You can turn a dart monkey into a super monkey. And Sada, she's really good for lower maps for chimps because she has such a good balloon popping power, and she has that bleed on Moabs and stuff. And she's really good with loop arounds and long length maps. Alright. And then B tier, we have Gwendolyn. She's good. She got a buff, but she's still not that good. She's really good at early game because she has that lead and that good balloon popping power at the start because of her cocktail. And she's not that, and she falls off in the late game. And the second one in B tier is Pat Fusty. He's really good with certain strategies like tack and brittle, and he can carry you through till like round 50 because he can knock back Moabs, he can hug them, and he can insta kill ceramics. I think at level like 11. Third one in B tier is Etienne. Etienne, pretty good, gives you all camo. You have, and then the fourth is Admiral Brickle, really good in certain situations, pretty useless in other ones. Striker Jones, only really used in like 1 or 2 strategies on like 5 or 6 maps. Adora used to be really good. She's still a good hero. You just need to invest more money, and you have to juggle her a ball of light and her third ability. Azelia, really good for late game, but really bad for early game. She's not really that versatile on most maps, but she is really good at late game. The last one is Quincy in C tier. Quincy's a good overall hero, but he doesn't excel in anything. He's more of a support hero with his arrows and his first ability, where he can shoot really fast, which is pretty okay BAD damage. Alright, D tier is Benjamin, because you can't make any money, and his Trojan really, it loses you money in chimps, because you lose balloons inside of there, and you don't make all the money. Alright, the last one is Captain Churchill, because it's really hard to save up $2,000 in chimps at the start, and if you don't get him at the start, he's not going to be a high enough level for him to be useful in the late game. So that is why he's in D tier. Alright, thank you guys for watching through my ratings. Now, I know this tier list is biased because I am biased of my heroes, of who I like and stuff, but this is my general of how I would rank the heroes. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.